It's Tuesday night, so it must be time for round two. Thank you, I am SlimmDa KID. You are tuned into Round 2 Wrestling. This is a brand new podcast here on the 2nd of August, 2022. We had a pay-per-view take place this past weekend. SummerSlam by WWE was on the docket for this past Sunday. We also saw Ric Flair's last match take place Sunday, which overall was a pretty good pay-per-view. We also had some brand new rumors pop up in the rumor mill that we will go over here shortly. Some new news to talk about as well. We have some results from all those title matches across many promotions and a couple different pay-per-views this weekend. Plus a brand new Did You Know? Did You Know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. So without further ado, let's jump into the rumor mill and take a listen to what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. According to WrestleNomics, NXT's next event will be Sunday, September 4th, the same day as AEW's next pay-per-view, All Out. A source told Leslie Lee III that WWE executive producer Kevin Dunn didn't think Becky Lynch was quote-unquote pretty enough to be champion. On his latest podcast, former WWE creative writer Freddie Prinze Jr. seemed to confirm the Leslie Lee III rumor that WWE producer Kevin Dunn would subjugate WWE women based on looks. This is not something too unfamiliar. The misogynistic, toxic masculinity seems to be evident across the spectrum when it comes to any form of work. And pro wrestling is no exception to this matter. I've always thought it was a crock of shit that you don't put the belt on your best wrestler. You put it on somebody who is the prettiest and can sell the most t-shirts. That is probably my biggest knock on WWE and has been for about the last 20 years or so. Hopefully this sort of attitude changes as time goes on and as new management, aka Paul Levesque, takes over. But, like we like to say here on Round 2 Wrestling, only time will tell. Matt Men's Andrew Zarian said WWE sports entertainment corporate philosophy is not just a Vince McMahon thing, going on to say many people do not believe WWE is a wrestling promotion, end quote. According to WrestleNomics, WWE employees were told last Friday they were prohibited from buying or selling WWE stock. This is interesting. Most companies don't say this unless they have some sort of reason. Is WWE up for sale? This is a very juicy rumor that we hope we can bring more attention to and more accurate news to as time goes on. Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez said even with AEW's Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly announced for this week's Dynamite, neither are cleared to wrestle. PW Insider heard that Jonathan Gresham brought up his PWI 500 ranking in an argument with Tony Khan as evidence he should be booked better. PW Insider reports Vince McMahon's name has been removed everywhere backstage at WWE live events. Fightful reports WWE wrestler Bobby Lashley approached by boxing rep on fighting Mike Tyson. Lashley says he is interested and not ruling anything out. All right, certainly some interesting rumors to think about for the next week. Let's jump over to something a bit more factual. This is the news in professional wrestling. AEW announces new title. 6-man tag team championships are on the way. A 6-man tag team championship tournament will be held with the final 2 teams meeting at All Out in September to crown the inaugural champions. AEW video game Fight Forever is now available for pre-orders starting today. The game will be available to purchase on PS4, PS5, Xbox, PC, and Switch on December 31st, 2022. WWE's Becky Lynch expected to miss several months due to a separated shoulder suffered at SummerSlam this past Sunday. WWE announces Craig Stimmel will join WWE and serve as Senior Vice President and Head of Global Sales and Partnerships. New Japan Pro Wrestling announces another cross-promotion pay-per-view. This time, NJPW and Stardom will team up to present Historic X Over and will be live November 20th, 2022. A new title has been announced for NJPW. Stardom and NJPW will introduce the IWGP Women's Championship at their upcoming cross-promotion pay-per-view November 30th. Pro wrestler Carl Fredericks issues a statement that his New Japan Pro Wrestling contract has expired and he will not re-sign with New Japan. WWE issued a press release regarding Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam 2022. After Rousey attacked referee Dan Engler, Rousey has been suspended and fined an undisclosed amount of money. In my digging for news this afternoon, I was unable to find whether or not this last bit of information was in fact factual and Rousey did in fact go off script and attack the referee, or if this was part of the script, part of the story, and this is just a clever way to give Ronda Rousey some time off. I could not confirm nor deny either or, so right now this is being treated as factual news. And with that being said, that is the end of the news. We have nothing else to talk about, but we had a lot of titles on the defense this past week and weekend across the wrestling spectrum. We here at Round 2 Wrestling are proud to give you the results of those title matches, and here they are now. AEW interim world champion Jon Moxley defeated Rush to retain the AEW World Championship. FTW champion Ricky Starks defeated Danhausen to retain the FTW Championship. Moments later, however, Hook would defeat Ricky Starks to become the new FTW champion. All-Atlantic champion Pac defeated LJ Cleary to retain the All-Atlantic Championship. AEW Women's Champion Thunder Rosa defeated Miyu Yamashita to retain the AEW Women's Championship. NXT UK Tag Champions Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen defeated Mark Andrews and Wild Boar to retain the tag titles. NXT UK Champion Ilya Dragunov defeated Wolfgang to retain the NXT UK Championship. Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair defeated Becky Lynch to retain the Raw Women's Championship. WWE US Champion Bobby Lashley defeated Austin Theory to retain the US title. Unified WWE Tag Team Champions the Usos defeated the Street Profits to retain the Unified WWE Tag Team Championships. SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan defeated Ronda Rousey to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. WWE Undisputed Champion Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar to retain the WWE Championship. MLW National Openweight Champion Davey Richards defeated Rocky Romero to retain the MLW National Openweight Championship. NJPW Strong Openweight Champion Fred Rossier defeated Big Damo to retain the Strong Openweight Championship. NWA Tag Team Champions The Commonwealth Connection defeated the Dirty Sexy Boys to retain the NWA Tag Team titles. NWA Women's Champion Camille defeated Chelsea Green to retain the NWA Women's Championship. Ric Flair and Andrade El Idolo defeated Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett in Ric Flair's last match. All right, those were all the results that we could find and dig up from the past weekend, so nothing else to go over there. We conclude our show with the fan favorite, Did You Know? Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. Did you know Dynamite Kid's final match was in 1996 with Michinoku Pro in Japan? Kid suffered a violent seizure the next day, effectively ending his wrestling career. Did you know Terry Funk was offered head booker of WWF in 1993? Funk turned it down because he hated New York City traffic. Did you know Lou Thesz versus Rikidozan was and still is the most watched wrestling match in TV history, drawing an 87.0 rating in 1957. Did you know former WWF wrestler Savio Vega gave both The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin their first WWF losses? Did you know WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle spent more time in TNA than WWE? He was with WWE from 1998 until 2006, or roughly 8 years, and he was with TNA from 2006 until 2016, roughly 10 years. Did you know SummerSlam 1992 was originally planned for Washington, D.C., not Wembley Stadium? Did you know the finisher, the Canadian Destroyer, was created by Petey Williams in honor of fellow wrestler Doug Chevalier, who passed away in the year 2000? Did you know Tito Santana gave The Undertaker his first loss in Barcelona, Spain in 1991? Did you know in 2005, Diamond Dallas Page sued New York City rapper Jay-Z over the diamond hand gesture? DDP and Jay-Z would settle this case out of court for an undisclosed amount of money. Did you know Rowdy Roddy Piper never wrestled at SummerSlam? He has been on commentary and made special appearances, but never wrestled on the actual SummerSlam card. All right, that is it. Nothing else to go over here. I am SlimmDa KID, and I personally want to thank you for tuning in to Round 2 Wrestling. I also want to take this time to thank Ultimate Championship Wrestling out of Saginaw, Michigan, for once again giving me the chance to get back in the game. If you are in the Bay Area or in the Saginaw area, be sure to stop by the UCW Arena for our next live event coming up here at the end of August. Tune in to the Base Slammer Facebook page to find out more. All right, once again, I am SlimmDa KID, and I want to thank you for tuning into this episode of Round 2 Wrestling. I hope you tune in for another episode next Tuesday as we bring you more news, more results, and more rumors from the world of professional wrestling. Round 2 Wrestling is brought to you by SlimmDa KID and Spreaker.com.